Ed, I wanted to bear witness, Ed, to the power of the human body, to do what has to be done, Ed, for a human to fulfill their life purpose. Today, Ed, I was watching someone say on Instagram that in times like this, a person, if you want to bring a child into this world, you should purify your body for 7 years at least. You know, we're living in a time of that level of poisoning and drugging and all that. And it made me remember how I was pregnant with Gabriel 7 years. From the day, Ed, that he was conceived to the day he was born, it felt, Ed, like all I was doing was purging. It was the most amazing time of my life, because that was the time when I really, Ed, purged out of my life so much, Ed, so much evil. Anyhow, Ed, so the thing I want to tell you, Ed, is that the day that Gabriel was born, so Gabriel was born, Ed, he came out, and then the placenta came out. All this was happening at home, by the way, and nobody else was there, just me. There was somebody else, but not with me, not in the bathroom with me. It was an unassisted home birth, so to speak. So anyhow, Ed, so Gabriel comes out, the placenta, Ed, which is the organ made by the womb itself to come as an in-between between the mother and the baby, the placenta, Ed. And it's like both a brain as well as a food processing unit for the baby. It feeds the baby. It gets food from the mother, and then it makes it into a food for the baby and attaches into the baby's umbilical cord. Now, Ed, Gabriel was born, the placenta was born, and then, Ed, something came, Ed, into my hands. It had been a growth that was in between the placenta and the womb wall. It was shaped, Ed, like a pine cone. You know how a pine cone is shaped, the petals of a pine cone? It was like that, Ed, but with half-moon shaped petals arranged like a pine cone, and entirely made of blood. There was no fiber, there was no muscle, there was no bone, there was nothing solid at all. It was liquid, holding itself in that shape. Now, Ed, if you pour water in the washing machine and you turn the washing machine on, the water will form a formation according to how the bottom of the washing machine turns. The blades turn. So that churning, Ed, makes the water go into a particular wave shape. So, Ed, some energy spin had made this thing that I was now holding in my hands. It was pretty big. It was like 10 inches long and about maybe 4 or 5 inches wide, like a long pine cone. And it was in my hands for a few seconds, Ed, when it began to disintegrate, because it had no fiber holding it in place. It was entirely held in place by an energy spin. And Ed, as it disintegrated and melted onto the bathroom floor and was flowing away, Ed, I saw it shining with metal. It was metallic blood. It was metal, Ed. These hands held it. It was metallic blood, Ed. And my inner knowing, Ed, said that at least 80 different kinds of poisons are in this thing. And this has blocked these poisons from reaching the placenta and therefore the baby. And this boy was born because all the poisons were held back from him, and possibly from my body as well, in this formation, metallic blood formation. And Ed, I went online and I looked online, and there is no mention of this in history. There is no mention of it online. And there is something known as an atypical monster, Ed, which is what people will say is anything other than the baby and the placenta coming out of the womb is an unformed baby or a genetically, deformed piece of tissue, the teeth, fiber, whatever. But they all have some form of, fiber or something solid. This had not. This was pure liquid. This was pure blood arranged in a pine cone formation and filled with metal. Obviously, if it was filled with metal, it must have been filled with other poisons. But Ed, I felt it. I can never forget the feeling of that, Ed. These hands held that, Ed. I can't forget the feeling. And Ed, I want to say, Ed, that we must never believe that our body cannot deal with poisons. Tell me something. Are we any less precious than Gabriel? How God protected him, because he has a destiny. So you and I have a destiny. We are precious too. We must never, ever, ever, fall in that thug world programming thing that, oh, you took a poison, you took so many poisons. This is all rubbish. We are capable, Ed, of dealing with everything, and our bodies will manifest whatever we need, Ed. There is no rules in the universe, Ed. Like, the thugs make it, the human body is like this, the human body is capable of this, but it is not capable of this, the human body has to be in this temperature range, the human body has to have that nutrition. All this is nonsense, pure nonsense. Pure nonsense. The Spirit of God is expelling the universe out there in all the different frequencies, colors, everything. Whatever we needed will manifest. Tomorrow, if I need to manifest wings, I will. Why not? It's been done before. We can manifest anything, Ed, anything. And dealing with poisons isn't like such a basic thing. As if God would have sent us into this time, Ed, without the abilities to deal with it. As if. It's nothing, Ed, but fear programming that we're taught that, oh, if you have this, you'll die. Someone was saying it the other day that the majority of people who die because of snake bite, they die because of heart attack. They're so terrified of getting bitten by snakes. My ancestors said they were like walking around the forest, they would get like bitten by snakes regularly. It was like an ant biting them, or even scorpions, and they were like, what? It was a joke, Ed. It was a joke for them. Back like it as recent as 1980s, my dad and his uncle used to sit and laugh at people being scared of wild animals, and they were like, "What? How funny!" They found it hilarious. They're like, "What are you talking about?" So it's all fear programming, and we can do anything. That's all I wanted to say.